Okay, so let me digress a little bit. I'm hearing you talk about for the betterment of the people, we need to know, we need more, we need to know that we deserve more and everything. And in my mind, I can't help but ask, if an opportunity comes for you to join politics in future, where you can effect this change and bring about betterment, would you take it?
I don't know yet. Oh, I don't know yet. We have politicians.
2023 is not far.
It's not far. Don't worry. We don't know yet.
Stephanie, 2023. If anybody Googles your name now, of course, actress will come up, but they'll see a lot of the philanthropic works you do and everything. You understand, which I think is amazing. So talk to me about this latest one, the one about hygiene.
Well, I think it's something that involves all of us, and something that we are all concerned about. And with COVID and the situation that is happening, we now realize that just practicing simple things can actually help save our lives. And the idea, I think the idea has been there sort of, but I think, you know, being locked down and having deep reflection and then seeing a lot of things that I said, you know what, we need to start addressing these things. Everybody wants change, and sometimes they're confused about how to go about, which way to, or what are the steps to take to go about it. And sometimes they don't even know. So when I thought about this, and other people are doing things, in terms of hygiene and all of that, but I'm like, okay, so what is the disconnect? Why do people feel that it's those people that needs to do it? Why don't they feel a sense of responsibility in themselves to do things like this? So I just said, okay, maybe we need to just craft this campaign differently, and maybe I also need to put myself out there to say, hey, we need to stop doing the things that the way we're going about things. When Ebola came, people went into the frenzy of washing their hands, doing the right thing. After they said, has he gone? They all went back to what they were doing. So, but it's for people to just pause and say, hey, little things like this can help save your lives. Little things like this can help you, instead of finding yourself in the hospital, you can actually cut down your hospital visit. Little things like this can actually elongate your life. And little things like this can make you feel happy, and your loved ones are also going to be happy about it. So starting My Hygiene First, my new habits campaign, is basically to create a national culture where we feel the need to take responsibility to put our hygiene first. Okay, so
I think what you said that has really struck my imagination is the part about the environment. Do you understand? The average Nigerian, it's not, I don't want to say doesn't give a damn about the environment, but when we never chop, we can't be thinking about trees or global warming or something.
Thank God you're mentioning this, because the tree planting day is coming up on July 14th, and I'm also going to be doing something about trees. Trees are supposed to be your friend. There's a lot of pollution in the environment. Carbon dioxide is their food. They release oxygen in the night. You need oxygen, and you release carbon dioxide. They also need it. So you need to, if you don't have trees in your house, my dear, find one plant and put in your trees, because you need that. We have a lot of flooding happening in Lagos. Why? Because there's no trees to filter the water and suck it down and put it down inside the ground, or to wage it. There's no trees. And you drive a car, you run generator, there's a lot of pollution in the air. What is going to clear the air? Trees. Do you understand? So when people understand their relationship between you and trees, you get to value more. Not to talk about food, and not to talk about the medicine, not to talk about a whole lot of things that trees provide for human beings. Do you understand? So it's really, it's about time that we pause and make sure that we appreciate and protect trees around us. Trees also, not only like when we say trees, even flowers and so many things around us. And sometimes I feel so sad when I go to, even when you go into an estate, you won't see one single tree. I'm like, so where is the green space? Because there's a lot of pollution. We live in a in a busy city. Where is the green space that needs to clean up this environment? And that's what tree does. So people need to be, you're thinking about yourself. So what if you don't breathe well? What if you have one chronic disease that will not even allow you to eat? So you can't remove the other from, because you're eating and then you're sick. So you can't separate them, really. So people need to be more conscious about that, more deliberate in making sure that we protect trees, we plant trees, we make sure that our environment there's a little bit of green where we are, where we're living, and it doesn't cost anything. So if you have your apartment, you don't have trees in front of you, buy a flower pot, no matter how small. It's not going to cost you a lot, but at least just put something green in your house. It's very important.
It's very important. I agree with you. Okay, so let me ask you this.
And you need it. And certain plants release a lot of oxygens in the night when you're sleeping, and it will help you sleep better.
So what you're saying is having plants around you, trees, vegetation around you helps you sleep better at night?
Well, I'm just saying that it also helps because trees releases in terms of there's a lot of carbon dioxide being released with car pollution, your generator and things that you're running in house, and trees will be able to clean that air for you.
Like a filter,
Yes.
Oh, yeah. Okay, amazing. I was asking why you do all that you do. Do you understand? I gave an example of other actresses and other people who, if they weren't doing what they were doing, if they just come once in a while and just put out films and come on Instagram or go on social media and just say hi to the fans and everything, nobody's going to ask you any question. Nobody's going to question why you're doing what you're doing. But I feel like you're going out of your way to do these campaigns to make our lives better. I asked why. So let's start from that again. Why?
So you say why, and I say why not? And because I know or I feel that I deserve better, and it's everyone's responsibility, not just because I am an actress, and that is also reflected. It's us being conscious and being very deliberate in the things that we do as a people. So even in terms of my films and in terms of whatever story that I want to tell at this stage, I feel I have to be very deliberate in all the messages, what kind of reaction I want to get out of people, and how to educate, entertain and inform. So I think we all deserve to have better healthcare, to have good environments, and it's also, governments cannot do everything alone. So we have to ask ourselves, how are we contributing to the problem, and how can we also contribute to solve the problem? Because if a space is clean and I go in and I make a mess, it's on me. So if I change my attitude, if I change my approach, if I change certain things that I do, it will also, and the other person change, you can see collectively we're all making the change, and then we'll be happy with the kind of environments we're going to see at the end of the day. Okay. And I think, because like I said, in Nigeria, we don't have maintenance culture. So if I start by taking care of my own space and you take care of your own space, if I go into a workplace, automatically I'll transfer those things that I practice at home, I'll bring it to my workspace. And it will help with the maintenance culture, because if you're a governor or if you're someone in a place of authority and there's certain things that you see, oh, this is wrong or this is not looking nice, because you know in your body that I need to fix it. If all of us are feeling that we need to fix the thing, so the little things that you can fix. The little things that you can do by yourself, do. Government definitely have a huge role to play, but we also have the role to play by changing our attitude, by changing our culture, by respecting our space, by respecting the things that we do. So as an actress, in my life, I feel I deserve better as a citizen of this country. And I need people to realize that they deserve better as a citizen of this country. And if you don't know that you deserve better, that's why things keep happening to us. If you know that you deserve better, you will demand for those things to happen to you, and then government will respond, because they know that the people are aware and the people are not taking it lightly, and you're holding them accountable, and they also hold you accountable. So it's more about elevating our minds as a people. It's more about if I'm able to educate some people that you should expect to live in good places, you should expect you should have water, you should have good health care, you should have all these things, at least to a reasonable extent. We should have light. So there's a whole lot of things that if we know, okay, what can we do also? And in what ways can we help? What can we stop also? And in what ways can we, so it's a whole lot of education, information, and action that needs to happen from our own part. So as an actress, I also feel, okay, I have this platform. And I think, a few people can hear me. So why don't I use that? If my son asks me in a few years' time, you know how we used to harass the old generation. That what did you do? Or what? And he can say, this is what your mother did. So something like that. So I think it's I feel that I deserve better, and I just find way to push for that. And if every one of us can have the same feeling, I think we'll make Nigeria a better place.
We'll make Nigeria a better place. I honestly, I agree 100%. Do you think we are doing enough for the girl child of the country? Do you feel like we're doing enough to protect the rights of the woman?
No, we're not doing enough, but I'm glad that a lot of people are speaking up more. But what we need to do is to create that conducive environment where we're also protecting, the victim will feel safe to be able to share her story, and we have enough empathy to make sure that we proceed to the end, and also look at some of the laws that we have in place and see how we can even make it more stringent. And there's a lot of education that needs to go in, because my thing is, a lot of people are screaming rape, but there's still a lot of rape happening every day. So what information does that individual have? That young girl, that young boy, what information do they have in case things like this happen to you? What do you do? Who do you call? What are the processes to take? So that, because we've seen people who have been raped for 20, 30, 10, 5 years, it took them a long time to come. But now we don't want them to take a long time to narrate their stories. So we want to create an environment that is conducive for these people to share their story and share it in the now. And so what information do we give to those people to say, if you're raped, you do this, you call the police, you go to the hospital, just give them the steps to take. Who do you call? What are the processes to keep, so that you keep your evidence, so that, the law, because it's actually a very difficult thing to prove. So those are the education that needs to constantly go out there to get people, even if you're 5 years, you see people raping 3 years old. I don't even want to think about that. Even if you're 5 years, even if you're 5 years old, you should be able to know if this is daddy or somebody, uncle, whoever is touching you, this is the thing that you need to do. And also parents need to be more aware and also listen to their children, be present in what is happening to your kids, and ask questions, make it conducive and make it safe for them to confess, to tell you their story. And if they tell you things, don't just shush them, don't shut them down. Because the other person who is molesting them is threatening them that I'm going to kill you, I'm going to do this, if you tell your parents, I'm going to kill your parents or something. So you'll be able to paint different scenarios for your children and make it safe for them to be able to come to you and talk about it. And when they talk about it, sometimes you're shocked, especially if you hear the individual who is doing the thing. But you should be able to know that should take the appropriate action to be able to handle the situation, I think. And so there's a lot of education that needs to go in, and more education also, or more shaming to people who, if you're persecuted, we should also know about it, so that the men and the women, well, more of the men, the men and the women who, I wouldn't say more of the men, so people know, because, I try to be balanced, because there's also young boys who are being molested as well. So, I don't even want to make light of that, so that people will know that if you do something like this, these are the consequences. And then we can see examples of people who have been put in jail, or people who have gone through, the whole process. You bring it out there so that people will know that, government is really working and government is really taking this thing seriously. So you start checking yourself. And there's a lot of education that we need to, give our boy child and also our girl child, so that, if someone says no, don't feel it's your right. Don't feel, because I think some people, the education is, when you talk to somebody, they feel, but I thought, they say when they say no, you just have to push a little bit further before you say yes. There's that mentality. So we need to really talk about all those different mentalities that people, young men feel that, if I talk to a girl and she doesn't even know what she wants, I have to sort of lord myself over her. So we need to change that. Like, if someone says no, it's no. So, and people, men and women, need to understand that, and be very articulate and give that information to them. So I think there's a lot of awareness, education, and the laws need to work, and people need to feel that it's a safe place for them to really tell their truth, and that they know that their truth they will listen to them. And especially if it's true, but not also be careful of, nobody should actually wrongly accuse anybody of rape if that did not happen. So we also have to also be able to do some check and balances in that.
Okay. Yeah. So let me ask you now, personally, do you think the same punishment should be given to someone who accuses another person?
I know they've been saying that, they've been trying to say that online. I think there has to be some very strong consequences, because that's information. I mean, if you accuse someone of rape, they lose a lot of things. Okay. So that, of course, it should actually have the same, because it's not an easy thing for a man or woman to be accused of rape. You carry that shame for the rest of your life, and you lose a lot of things. So the consequences are actually quite huge. So yes, it's they have to look into anybody who falsely accuses someone of rape.
Same punishment should be meted out.
Well, I don't know about same punishment, but yeah, I think so.
You
that would deter you, so that I think so, because that would deter you from, you make sure that your stories are true, and so you don't just wake up somewhere and say you want to mess up with someone's life. So it has to be almost the same thing.
It has to be the same thing. I agree with you. Thank you very much, Stephanie. A lot of people keep asking, like whenever your name is mentioned, and a lot of people keep asking that, okay, Stephanie doesn't act as much as she used to. Is this a deliberate thing? In a year, I don't think, I may be wrong, but I don't think that in a year, in recent times, I don't think you do up to 5 films.
No, I haven't stopped acting. It's just that, it's just that I'm very deliberate now with projects that I do, and I also am doing a couple of other things, but I haven't stopped acting. I'm actually working on 3 projects as we speak. So don't for once think that, I've stopped acting. I know a lot of my fans are like, we need to see you in something. So, but definitely you're going to be seeing more of my films. But like I said, time, sometimes to take a break, take our time to do certain things, but I haven't stopped acting at all.
You haven't stopped acting. Okay. So when you say I'm
very deliberate now with the kind of projects that I do.
Okay, I was just going to ask, when you say you're very deliberate, this means you don't just associate yourself with any film or any project that comes out. Is this a judgment on Nollywood? Are you saying
No. Why? There've been a lot of great films that people have done. There's been a lot of projects, but sometimes some scripts they've sent to me, I'm like, I've done this, and something. You're looking for meat. You're looking for something different, not something you feel like you've done before. And that's just it. Some of the scripts that are being thrown my way, I just felt, okay, no. Although sometimes I think I've done a couple, I've done a couple of something on the side, and then maybe when you see the outcome, like, they've started again, but there's been a lot of good films that have come out over the years. So I'm just deliberate. I'm going to be doing a lot of more work. My fans are getting crazy. They want me to be in the movie. They want me to do action movies for them. And
exactly, because I was going to ask if there's any role. I was going to ask if there's any role you haven't played yet that you still want to play.
Oh yeah, there's a lot. There's a lot of roles
I haven't done. Give me examples.
No, I can't think about it. When they write it down, I remember that I've not done that one. I have.
You just said action film now.
A lot of projects.
You just said action film.
I used to do a couple of action films, our own action film, whether you like it or not. So I'm like, then like the action girl, So, but we still, there's a whole lot. In this business, you don't retire until you're tired.
Okay. You don't retire.
That's the good thing about show business.
Oh, okay. I feel like that's a cool.
So there's role for you as you go along. So. You don't retire.
You don't retire until you're tired. You should make a frame of that particular quote and say, Stephanie, Linus. Okay. Yeah. You don't retire until.
Yeah, that's a good one. I think I should do that. You don't retire until you're tired.
So me that gave you that idea, now please run me my check when money starts coming in. When it starts
making money out of it.
Okay, so let me digress a little bit. I'm hearing you talk about for the betterment of the people, we need to know, we need more, we need to know that we deserve more and everything. And in my mind, I can't help but ask, if an opportunity comes for you to join politics in future, where you can effect this change and bring about betterment, would you take it?
I don't know yet. I don't know yet. We have politicians.
2023 is not far.
It's not far. Don't worry. We don't know yet.
Stephanie, 2023. But have you ever thought about
there's a lot of other ways we can contribute and change minds, and that's what I'm all about, and that's what the press should be all about. How do we break down information? How do we help our people? How do we change minds? Because we have to live a good life. We deserve to live a good life.
Definitely.
That's just it.
Definitely.
No matter how small, nobody is, like I tell people, what 1 million naira means to you might be 100,000 means to another person. So it's not everybody that is aspiring to be, I have to have a big house, I have to have things. People just want to have a decent life, that they are, they feel the sense of contentment and a sense of worthiness, and that's just what people want, really. Yes. And that's what we're trying to, get them to elevate their minds.
Okay, I agree with you. Thank you very much, Stephanie. I have to go like right now, but thank you very, very much. Thank you for speaking to us.